we know our character is a dungeon chef. We know that we were attacked along with our other 2 breachers, and those 2 are gone. We don't know where they are. We have woken up by ourselves, which means right now it's dark. And with it being dark here, we need to decide how are we going to make light? What did we lose? Did we lose any items when we fell down this ravine? How much was stolen from us? So let's look at our character sheet. Let's go over to him, or them, because they're a golem. Pull them up. And how do we want to do this? I just realized that we didn't put our picture in. So to remind ourselves what they look like, let's also add our picture back into here. And while I'm doing that, I think with the audience is playing with me, by the way, we are using stream loot cards during this to modify what we do so we can survive. We should talk about the fact that our guy has a 5 strength, a 3 dex, an 11 con, 17 intelligence, which is what you use as a dungeon chef, 5 wisdom, and 15 charisma. Now this all sounds well and good, but we don't have a lot of hit points, and our armor class is 7. I know how he got beat up. He cooks for them. He wasn't ready. So I guess our first Oracle question has got to be, and look at this chef, by the way. I just want to zoom in on this guy. The fans of the show during the live stream found him. He's like a cast iron suit or metal suit, but he's like, I'm assuming he's really fragile, like it's hollow. He can light himself up if it's needed. Maybe he doesn't have to hold his torch. Maybe he can put his torch in himself or something. But he can cook. He's a knighted guy who can cook, but he's not very durable. So we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna survive. And I think the first question we have to have, while it is pitch black, do we take any damage from the fall? I don't. I know I'm saying this, and I'm already kind of regretting saying it. But if we lost hit points, we are gonna kind of be in a bad way. We also need to get light up, because every turn you are in the dark, you unfortunately have to roll encounters. For every round you're in the dark. So I think our first question is there anyone here? Are we in danger? So let's jump in. The Solodark gives some samples. Look through these on your own for different things you can look at for where to get ideas on how to play. We know what we need. We have all of the things that we need in their checklist for monsters, encounters, and all that kind of stuff. There's some cool pages here, so you can pull things up if you need to look. But let's scroll down. Also, love this mask. And we should talk about, are we in danger? And that is the Oracle. Did we take damage falling? The game rules say when we fall, we take damage. Let's ask the Oracle. Let's start this way. This game uses 2d20s for a lot of stuff, basically advantage and disadvantage, like 5e. And we're gonna go through the idea of, did we fail this thing? You can see this pretty well. I'm gonna make this a little brighter for you, so you can see more. I'm gonna be a little brighter as well. But we need to talk about, can we do this? And this one's hard to see. Let's grab a better D20. I want something legible for you. I should get some big ones that are legible during the show. We'll use this one. I think that one will be a little bit easier to read. If not, I can read it. So we got 2d20, and we need to talk about how we're going to do this. What is an Oracle check? So best practices for Oracle: plausibility. Only ask reasonable questions. Don't ask, is there a +3 longbow on the floor? We're not asking that. Our question for Pan, which is our Golem Dungeon Chef, is, did we take damage when we fell? Defer to the game rules. See if your game rules can solve your question first. For example, allow Jordan to make a dex roll. Good question. Let's look up, did we take falling damage? I'm already not happy about this idea that we probably did. So we're going to go to here. We're going to go to contents. And I think it's probably going to fall under hazards in here. Let's see if we took damage from falling. I know this. I think it's a d6 per 10 feet. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Let's look up falling. Falling. You take a d6 for every 10 foot. Okay. Well, how many feet do we fall? I mean, I guess the best way to answer this is to use percentiles, right? Let's figure out how far we fell. I think that, you know, percentiles are a good way to see if you made it or not. For those who don't know, these dice that I have are made from an amazing artist. I would have to look up their names, but check this out. I'm keeping this in the live recording because it makes me happy. Oh, it's dark. Hold on. We're going to turn the lights on for a second. Let's turn our lights on for a second. Okay. So they are miniature origami boats inside of a die. Origami boats. So we're going to roll percentiles. We're going to turn our lights back off. I'm so sorry. We're starting. Pan's not going to make it through the first session. Lights off, everybody. Lights off. Oh, Torchy will be missed. And let's roll and see what we get. We only fell 7 feet. We fell 7 feet, everybody. Check it out. Hope you can see that. If you can't, let me see if you can see these dice better. No, we fell 7 feet. That could have been worse. Way worse than what we just got. That means we don't take any damage. We took no damage. It's a 10 foot. We only fell 7. That means we tumbled down the slope, hit the bottom, and we took nothing. Well, I mean, not even a d6. It has to be every 10 feet. We didn't take 10 foot of damage. Ooh, okay. So our next question's simple. Do we lose any items? There's nothing in the book that's going to answer this. There'll be no answers that say yes or no to us losing stuff. So let's take a look at the Oracle. Now, I will say, I know I lost some of my gear because somebody in Monday's party has one. Blake, Adam, Diana. I know somebody has them. And the odds, before you make a check, decide how likely your question is to get a yes. I think it's pretty likely we lost some gear. I know we lost a recipe. There's a good chance we lost some gear, right? So it's likely or certain. Roll Oracle check with advantage. Yes, it is likely that we lost it. So we roll 2d20. On 11 to a 20 on the higher die, we lost some gear. A 1 and a 2. We lost nothing. We lost no gear. That means that Pan has all of his stuff. That means we have everything. We wouldn't have lost our chef knives because it's a tool integration. That's currently what's integrated into our body. That means we didn't lose our pan. We didn't lose our hand crossbow. We didn't lose our 4 torches, our rations. Holy shit. Pan may survive. He may survive. We took no damage. We're not wounded. I think the next question is anything near us? Did anything follow us? Oh. Well, we don't need a prompt. So let's talk about how we're going to decide this. Did something come near us? Well, the book does answer this question quite frequently. So if we go into Shadowdark and we go down to our area where you adventure, actually, Actually, we can go right to the very first page. In here, it talks about distance, close, near, and far, and how far do things start from you. The first thing we do in this game is we roll a d6 to determine if something is near us. Now, when you're in the dark, there is a chance, a higher chance, using basically like a hazard die, that there is something near us. So we fell down into a pit, knocked off a ravine, we're not dead, and now we have to decide how bad is our situation sitting in the dark before we light this torch. I swear to God, if we're surrounded by people here, I'm gonna be really, really upset if we survive that fall, we survived everything that we did, and we are surrounded right now. So, I guess we go here. Let's go take a look at total darkness. It's gonna be bad. There's gonna be bads here. All right, so this is our cheating area. In total darkness, while in total darkness, a creature who is not dark adapted, which is only bad guys, we are at disadvantage for everything that we are doing. So here's our dice for disadvantage. On top of being in disadvantage for everything that we're doing, also the environment becomes deadly. A GM checks for a random creature every crawling round. We fell, we brush it, we check our gear. That was a crawling round. And now he's gonna check to see if there is a random encounter. This is on page 112. Also, why I'm saying to get this PDF, if you're gonna do Solodark, watch this. Boop, we're already there. It's unsafe, we check, we roll a d6. On a result of 1, there's a bad guy. A 5, there's nothing. I think immediately we go over, we light a torch. We light a torch, we have light, we have flint and steel, we didn't lose any of that, we don't have to worry about how we're lighting it. We light a torch. And we take a look at our surroundings. So we know we fell down, we know that we're using this map for our reference, right? And we know we fell down and we are at the entrance to this place. We could go back up, but we could hear the conversation of people talking, and we don't want to go up there since we're not a combatant. So I think we're starting here. I did add our character into here. So I'm going to put a token on the table. I'm going to zoom way in, and we're starting at this door. I got to say, hand is safe so far. Is there a name on this door? I feel like I would like to know what this tower is before we walk in blindly to die. I didn't name it, it's not in the setting, and I believe in keeping things open-ended as a GM running players, but I also feel that way about Solodarking or solo play. We want options. So in the Solodark book, if we scroll back up, you will see that we have an option. In Solodark, they have a little cheat sheet, and this is dungeon names. So I have an audience members here. Audience members, roll me percentiles. I'm gonna roll one as well. We're gonna see what we get. We're gonna combine this together. We know that this is a tower, so I think we leave. I mean, I don't know. We'll roll. We'll see what we get. So I got an 80. Oops, wrong one. I got an 89. All right. So I got an 89. 89 to start is a depths. Well, depths are pretty suiting. So depths of what? You got an 89 as well. Why did we just get two? We just got matching 89s. I don't know if we are the luckiest 10 hit point character ever, or if we are destined to die. A horrible death. I mean, this is... Look at this. This is our 89. Our 5 from the encounter. Our 1 from taking no damage. So 89, 89. We are in the depths of the Lost. I already wrote Lost down. Let's roll for the last one. I'm just going to write this down. We are in depths of the Lost. What else we got? We got one more percentile. I'm going to roll it here live. 16. Depths of the Lost. What do we got? Depths of the Lost. Pirates. Do we want to deal with pirates? I mean, I have an idea of what this can be because of GM secrets. Depths of the Lost Pirates. So this has got to be a way out. I think that's the thing. If we are trapped underground, I think this is our chance to get out of here. Depths of the Lost Pirates for a 16. I think this is our chance to get out. That's what we're looking at right now. So we light a torch. We walk up to the door. We're not dented. We're not wounded. We have our journeyman's bag still. There's a little tear out of it, but we kept the hold. We currently have our chef's knife attached to our body with our tool integration. I think that makes sense. Do we knock? Do we walk in? The walls are full of people. There are wallers here, but do we flee from here? Do we stay? I'm gonna write down a light timer. We've done 1 round with our torch. Do we continue or stay? Well, let's look at this. We know that we have access to a door. We know that we can probably get in. We have food. I think we just open the door. We should probably talk about Pan before we do this. If we look at Pan, Pan is a little different. Pan is a chaotic golem mechanic who is a dungeon chef. He knows how things work, how they build. He wants to build more of them. He wants to build more of golems to help him as sous chefs. We have tool integration. It gives us a +1 bonus to rolls using that tool or item. Integrating takes an hour. So right now we have a +1 with our chef. It makes him a better knife, and he can fight with his knife. We know we can do that. We have meal prep right now once a day. And then we know also that we are secretly being watched by Ramjax, the Lord of Destruction. We are a chaotic character. Taking virtue of you. Okay. Advantage when breaking things. I'm going to knock. If no one answers, we're breaking the door down. That seems like the dungeon chef way. Right? So, let's roll to break this down, everybody. We have advantage because we are breaking something. We are not very good at it. We're going to kick the door. Our strength is hot garbage. We have a -3 to this roll. What do we want our DC to be? We're kicking a door down. DCs in this game are kind of stair-stepped. If we go back into the premium here and take a look, we scroll all the way back to the beginning of this book. In the very beginning, they talk about DCs and what DCs do and how they are static and how they function. We are by ourselves. So let's look at what the DCs would look like. I think we go with... what would our check be? What would our check be? I don't think it would be higher than a 9. Maybe it is a door. It is into a tower. The DCs in this game in general are, I think, 9, 12, 15, and 18. Let's look and see. I want to make sure we're not screwing ourselves over, everybody. I think it's important to make sure that our DCs are static and we are safe. We're not making this more difficult than it should be. Can we find anything about breaking doors? If I don't find something quick, we're just going to do what you normally do. Here's strength. Here we go. That's something. Here's strength. So yeah, that would be for breaking a door down. We're not going to pick it. 9. So let's write this down. We'll never have to look this up again. Remember what I've been doing on here. Let's take this away, pull this up, and you'll notice over here I have Solodark notes, and over here I have tables. In these notes, actually, I'm just going to make this important. At the bottom of this over here, I'm going to put DCs, and I'm going to write down these DCs. So easy is a 9. Normal is a 12. This kind of reminds me of putting THACO on the bottom of the sheet like you did when you were a kid. Hard is a 15. And extreme is an 18. So now we have this at the bottom of our sheet, allowing us to be prepared and not have to look things up anymore. So we have this. I'll pick it up so you can see it. So it's just at the bottom. And now we just have a difficulty chart at the bottom. So let's kick it open. Actually, no, let me leave that up. Let's kick it open. I think it's probably a 12. Because it's got to be at least a decent door, right? You know, let's not screw ourselves over. Let's ask, is this door in good shape? Because if this door isn't in good shape, I want to know that so that we can easily break it. So let's go back up to here and let's talk about what shape are we in. Is it likely? I think it's an even chance. We're just going to go with a D20. Is it in good shape? Okay. We just rolled. Is it in good shape? We got a 3. It is not in good shape. Things are looking up for Pan. That means we're going to get advantage. I'm going to take it from that 12, shift it down to a 9, and we're going to roll. Ooh, even at -3, we got it, everybody. At -3, we get rid of our 13. 15 minus 3, 12. We would have made the more hard one, the more difficult one. I think we back up and we throw our body weight into it. We smash this door open, allowing us to go inside. So here's where things get really interesting to me when you're playing solo games. Now it's like we have a map. It's a basic map. But we have no idea what this is. We know there's a stairway that goes up in this room. It looks like maybe there's water in here, which makes sense because it's pirates. We're at the first floor. We should talk about what this room looks like. It's naturally carved. We know that the Verdantis walls, or as we have called the green halls, are filled with vegetation, huge oak trees that tower, canopies all over the place. We need to figure out what's in this room. Now, there's some cool things that we can do with this. When we go back into the book, you're going to see that we have access to a bunch of really good tables that Shadowdark has given us. I'll show you where they are so that if you're doing this by yourself, you have an idea of where to look. So let's go over and check it out. So we are in here. We are looking through the book. We've done our gameplay rounds. This is everything that's here. But we should talk about maybe the game mastering, because you're going to be game mastering yourself. And you don't want to just make things up unless it makes the story better. It is your story. I will always say this. If it makes your story better and you're enjoying it more, there's no wrong answer. You're playing by yourself. So I want to know what this is. And we know that we have a forest. So let's hit forest. There's forest encounters. Okay, that's kind of cool. We don't really need that though. What about overland hex? Points of interest? No. Shadowdark maps. That's not going to do anything. So we need to find something. Here's a room. Let's do this. Let's do this. Shadowdark maps. Let's see what this room is. So we're going to roll a d10. And while I'm rolling a d10 for our map, everybody, can someone else roll me a d6 so we know how dangerous this room is? Because we just kicked the door down. On a d10, I rolled a 9. It is a treasure room. So the bottom of the tower has the treasure room. Okay. Well, we're going to call this room 1. I'm going to pull this away. And we know if we zoom out on this, right? And we come up, we know that here is room 1. So I'm going to put down room 1 on our cheat sheet here, our adventure sheet. So we're going to put R1 on the side, right? And we're going to write down that this is a treasure room. Treasure room. And then we kick down the front door. Because, you know, breaking the front door, if there is somebody inside, you could be in trouble. Could be. It looks like our audience has rolled us a 3. So let's see what a 3 gets us. All right, 3. It's unsafe. This is an unsafe room, but it's not deadly. I'm gonna mark, since we're doing greens and stuff, I'm gonna put unsafe here. Unsafe. And I'm gonna highlight this. I think that when you're running stuff, if you have highlighters in your place, I'm a big fan of these highlighters specifically. I think this is from Sharpie. They got the nice flat piece on them and you can see through them so you know what you're highlighting. And I am just gonna highlight this. And we know this area is unsafe. Well, okay, we're running into our first difficult area. Question will be, why is this shit unsafe? What's the damage? If it's unsafe, we need to figure out why. It is a treasure room. We don't know the details yet. We're gonna have to roll. Let's roll on the treasure table. I think that makes sense, actually. I'm gonna roll a d6. Let's roll on the treasure table. A 1. It is hidden. How do we know it's a treasure room if it's hidden? Well, I'm gonna do really basic markings for myself. When I do things that are hidden and stuff like that, I'm known for drawing like plotted webs. So instead of drawing a whole plotted web here, I'm just gonna go like this. So I'm assuming we're gonna have some extra information. And I'm gonna do what I always do is I'm gonna put an S here for secret. Says I know that there's something secret in this room, and I deliberately know that it is the treasure. Those are notes for me. I know what it is. I can easily come back and reference those at any point in time. Helps with taking notes for this. Why is it hidden? And also, why is it dangerous? We didn't roll a guarded monster, right? Guarded by a monster, or a trap, or a hazard. Well, we don't have a table to roll on. If it's hidden and dangerous, we should probably figure out... This tower is dangerous. Maybe this room isn't dangerous. Just the tower is dangerous. That makes more sense. Overall danger level is unsafe. That's awesome. We can just write unsafe up here. So I'm going to draw a line, and I'm just going to put whole dungeon. Okay? Whole tower. That's cool. We know what it is. It's not too bad then. We have a chance to survive. So let's talk about what we would do here. I feel we need to mark our rounds. We have done 1 to come up to it, 1 to kick the door down. I think 1 looking around the room. Let's talk about what do we do in a room. When I walk into a dungeon, you're going to search this place, look over the map, see what's there, and see if we can find anything that is of value for our character. So let's look at the map and see if there's anything that works for us. We can see that there's a liquid in here. There's some obviously stalactites or mites, maybe both. There's something over here, maybe a basin. I think we walk in the room and we are gonna check this out. There's something hidden. If we're looking through the room, taking an awareness, looking for what's here, we have a torch out, we have light. Let's see if we find what this hidden object is just because we catch it on, you know, looking around. If we're gonna be doing this, remember that we are rolling stats only in this game. There's no skills, but there are talents that add to what you do. And we do, as our dungeon chef, have some pretty cool abilities. So let's talk about that. Let's look at our abilities as our dungeon chef. Maybe we have prepped some food and we ate it for the day. So when we scroll down here, our dungeon chef's abilities, they have meal prep and they have a recipe book. And in our recipe book, we have marinated grilled monster, gain +1 to a stat save of choice. Should be stat roll of choice for the day. I think perception is probably a good idea, but I think because we're weak, I think we only care about our ability to find things to survive. I think we worry about being aware. So let's go back here and let's look at stats again, because I want to see something. Does it fall under intelligence? Casting spells, deciphering the runes, learning new skills, important to wizards. Cast a spell, detect hidden. Oh, it's wisdom. We suck at wisdom. We're so bad at it. Let's see if we find this hidden object. It's hidden. How hidden is it? I guess that's probably the question we should ask ourselves. It is a pirate's cove. They'll probably hide their stuff pretty well. Let's go back down to our oracle. Let's talk about how hidden this is. Odds. Is it likely that it's hidden? Yes. Is it hidden well? Probably. So we're gonna roll with advantage. A 1 and a 4. A 1 and a 4. No, it is not hidden well. The average DC is a 12. I was gonna make it a 15. We're gonna go down 1, making it a 9. So we're doing this. We're doing this. It means it's not hidden well. That's good. That's good. We have a -3 to our roll. We need a 9. We got a 19 -3 is 16. We find the treasure. What the fuck is the treasure gonna be? And this is when we get into some really fun stuff with Shadowdark. In Shadowdark, if you don't know, finding treasure, getting information, finding boons, all of these things, every one of them gets you experience. So the more things we find and we get out of here, the more like we are to level. We're level 3, so we need 40 XP, 40 to get out. Let's see what we find here. I think that probably makes the most sense. I also think that I'm probably going to print an XP chart and put it in the book as a bookmark so I have it. I'd recommend doing the same thing as well, instead of having to look it up in the core rulebook every single time. But first, we get to roll on a table. We all know we like tables, especially magical item tables. Well, the chance to get magical items. Let's see. So, we're back here. We're in our core book, and we need to look at items. So we're gonna scroll down a little bit here. Not monsters. We don't want to see. We don't want to see it. We want treasure. We want treasure tables. Where is treasure? Treasure tables. We're gonna write this down on our cheat sheet because we need to know how easy it is to get. Let's close monsters so we don't have this big stack in the way. Here's treasure. Perfect. How does treasure work in Shadowdark? All right. We're not carousing. We're dealing with loot, unguarded, randomly generated unguarded treasure by rolling. But this was secret, so that's important. We are 0 to 3, so we're going to roll in this. If the audience would like to roll me a percentile, I'm going to talk about experience in this. We're going to mark down here that this is page 270, 270 for treasure. And then I'm going to look up XP, because we should talk about how experience in this game actually works. So let's go look at Game Master, awarding XP. So here's our awarding XP table, everybody. Poor is 0, normal is 1, fabulous is 3, legendary is 10. And with that, we can talk about how unique it is. You can see down here that they talk more about the important things that you get from them. So like 10 would be a Staff of Ord, a Dingin's Wish, a Dragon's Hoard. And then on levels 0 to 3, it should be about the equivalent to 20 gold. But we're playing Solodark, so we get to throw a few of these out of the window. Now, with that said, what do we get from our audience roll? Let's check this out. All right, audience roll. 100? 100? Wouldn't that be a magical item? What is it? What do we get? Let's see what we get.